Hey ladies, I just wanted to give you the heads up that if you're just listening to the video while I'm speaking and you're not watching the video, I do post articles throughout the video, so you may miss some of the articles that I post.
I don't want to be a bitch because I like men and I've been in relationships and I've had good times and I like having a partner and I love to flirt and I love romance and I will not let this part of me die. And I don't want to be a bitch. But we have an issue with men right now because there are a lot of men who are not meeting like basic standards in order to be in a relationship. And like this girl says, she's like, I'm not willing to be treated poorly just to be in a relationship and have kids. It's not that women don't want to be in a relationship or don't want to have children. It's that the men aren't good enough right now. I don't want to be a bitch.
Ladies, very simple principle. If you keep him comfortable, then why would he even have reason to change?
Hey ladies, welcome back. This is Nava. Come on in and hit that subscribe button and let's talk about these males once again. Y'all, it is so much going on with China and these tariffs, and China is like going in on America and like giving us all the names of the suppliers that make everything, almost everything that we purchase over here, all the luxury products, shoes, jeans, perfume, hair, whatever we purchase here for a pretty penny. They are giving us the direct websites and the names of the suppliers so we can go straight through them and cut out the middleman and cut off America's funds. And I'm here for it. As a matter of fact, later on, I'm going to sit down and watch some TikToks and get my pen and my paper and write down all of the sites. And I might share it with y'all, but y'all, I'm going to be a baddie this summer. I'm going to be a baddie. But anyway, everybody's been talking about this whole male loneliness epidemic. And I just feel like it's just self-inflicted. And it's because a lot of these men are not evolving. I'm not even going to say they're devolving because I don't think they're devolving. I just think that women are waking up and paying more attention to them as a whole. And we have social media now where women can actually talk and share their experiences and compare notes. And women are woke. And you know that the right does not like woke people, and that includes women. So I'm pretty sure that with this whole China thing and this whole male loneliness epidemic and with women coming out and sharing their stories on TikTok, I'm pretty sure they are going to shut TikTok down. If they can't get it in the hands of like Jeff Bezos or one of the oligarchs, they're going to shut it down if they can't control what women are talking about and what Chinese people are saying on there. So if y'all haven't signed up for Red Note, I suggest y'all go sign up for Red Note before they do anything to TikTok, because the Chinese people over there on Red Note, it's like it's the Chinese version of TikTok. The Chinese people over there are going off on America and Americans. So I suggest y'all go over there. But yeah, I wanted to talk about men devolving and women evolving. And I feel like like I said, I don't feel like they're devolving. I feel like they've always been the same throughout history. If you study history, they have always been the same. But women realizing this now is causing the divorce rates to go up higher. At least 75% of women are filing for divorce, and men are refusing to see that they are the problem because they've had it so easy throughout history. And so I'm going to get into these videos and I will be in and out after this.
Pro tip for men: you have to know how to communicate in order to have healthy relationships. You have to be able to understand what you're feeling, name your feelings, communicate effectively without anger, without aggression, and without being intimidating and dominant. You can do this. You can read books, you can take courses, you can learn how to communicate, you can increase your emotional intelligence. Read the comments. This is what women want. If you want to have a relationship with women, you have to know how to communicate. I know you can do it. I believe you can do it. You just got to try.
So I really think that women should stop speaking to men directly and telling them what to do, because they've been programmed to have a visceral reaction to women telling them what to do or women telling them anything. They have been taught that they are the leaders for centuries. So it's kind of hard for them to just listen to us for more than 20 seconds at a time and take us seriously. And that's why we see so many divorces happening, because they minimize us to that of a child, someone that they would not listen to at all. They just don't listen to us. So women are trying to tell them what they need to do to have healthier relationships with women, and they don't care. They are going to force women into relationships with them, whether we want it or not. And we see that because of these men, these right-wing politicians. They are changing laws to force women to be in marriages with them. I've made videos on this, a whole bunch of creators that I follow and that I name, and I share their videos. We talk about it all the time. They don't want to change. They don't want to get better and do better to be in relationships with women. Their thing is power. They want to be able to force you to be in a relationship with them no matter how they act. They don't want to be different or better people. Like, you could be better. You can go over there and evolve and be better if you want to as a woman. That's all good and dandy. But they want to be with those evolved women forcefully. They want to force themselves. And that's why we have a lot of grape. And that's why we have a lot of men out here getting mad when they're approaching women on the streets or in clubs, and the women like even nicely tell them, no, thank you, I'm not interested, or I don't want to drink. The men will start cussing them out or unalive them or follow them, stalk them, just all kind of stuff. They don't want to evolve. They want to take you by force. And that's like back in the caveman days. They were doing the same thing, like hitting women up over the head with clubs and bats and just dragging them home. Like, so women, I think women need to stop focusing on trying to tell men that they need to get in therapy, they need to do this, they need to do this and that and whatever. I think women need to focus on teaching other women and young girls what we need to do to survive this, and to spot out the men that could possibly put us in danger.
Women are leaving relationships in droves because men are refusing to evolve to become the next level of man. You see, men are still playing this relationship game and this game of life by rules that were established like over 200 years ago. Like, it's no longer enough just to go out and earn the money and then come home and expect everything to be done. You see, with women's liberation, what happened is women were allowed to go out and be their own people, earn their own money, be independent people in their own right. But the thing is, men seem to think that just turning up and earning the money is enough. And it's not anymore. Women are demanding more from men, and men are refusing to evolve. But, you know, that's fine at the end of the day, because if these men don't evolve, women are just going to reject them, and they're going to end up out of the gene pool anyway. So, you know, it's entirely up to men what they do. But the ones that are evolving, the ones that are prepared to step up and step into this new era that's coming of true, intimate, emotional connection between men and women, where we stop fighting with each other and we actually come together as a species and get rid of this controlling patriarchal system that we've been living in so far. You know, it's going to happen. And the future is bright. Like, I fully see a future where we come together and we create a world of safety, of peace, of love and harmony. And the guys that don't want to wake up are going to lose out on it because they're going to be rejected. They're going to be cast out. They're going to be cast aside and they're going to be left. And that's fine because I know what their response is going to be. Their response is going to be, oh, I don't want a relationship anyway. Go take your ball home. Like literally go take your ball home and stop playing. Like we don't want you in the game anyway. You're just a loser.
I honestly don't see a future where men and women can come together in harmony. We haven't seen it in millions of years. Women are being taken off of this planet like by the thousands. And I know the stats for the black community for women is every 4.5 hours a black woman is killed by a black man. I really think that if you read a lot a lot of books let us know that we used to be a matriarchy and women used to live amongst women and children, and the men went out and hunted and did whatever they did, and they had ceremonies to bring the boys to their manhood. They had different ceremonies to like induct boys into manhood, and the women and men lived separately. And the women, what the hell? Okay, sorry about that. But many of these women were warriors. Many of these women were hunter gatherers. The women did it all. If you look around the world now, it is a lot of countries, y'all, that have women that are running them, and we don't even hear about them. And they're doing great. They are doing much better than countries that are being ran by men. Like, look at the president over there in Mexico, Claudia. I'm not sure what her last name is, but I I love listening to her speak when she's like going in on Donald Trump. But yeah, look, these are, I'm showing y'all on the screen if y'all weren't watching, these were the countries that women are running and doing great. And I think that's where we are headed with women waking up. And I feel like that these men are not going to go down easily. They are already panicking and windmilling. So, ladies, we have our jobs cut out for us. Everybody who's starting channels and sharing these channels right now, I appreciate it. I love all of the content that's like similar to mine. Y'all see that I share women's channels all the time on my page. I share their channels more than I post myself. And I don't care if y'all go follow them. I'm not trying to compete with them. I just want this message to spread. I want women to wake up faster, and I want women to realize what's going on with us globally and that we are not in a natural setup. We have to wake up. If anything is going to change, if there's going to be a revolution, it's going to have to start with women. I don't care what the race of women is, it's going to have to start with women. And that's the only way things are going to change. Women cannot just sit down and just watch what's going on and be silent.
I heard you say that men haven't evolved. They don't know how to evolve. Like, if that's why I said the woman has to know what they want. If a woman accepts this man, she's hoping that he's going to evolve into this person. The woman has to say, no, you have to be able to do this. And the man has to think, like, am I going to do that? If a man knew that there's a whole list of requirements to be a compliment in a relationship, they would go mark them off. But not enough people say, hey, we didn't get all the rules.
So them as leaders need someone to make them a list of requirements of things that they need to be doing as leaders and protectors and providers. Got it.
So that's the reason why this is so important to me, because what I learned also, you said, some of your lady friends, your girlfriends would rather just be at home and be able to travel and keep that peace. And in my head before today, I was like, well, they won't ever be able to get to where you and I are because that's their ceiling. And I was like, but if they don't know this is the ceiling, or if they don't know that they could get here, why let somebody else take that peace to go get something that they may not get? In my head, I'm thinking that everybody has the potential to get to where we are. Like, I feel like if men knew how I felt about our relationship, they knew what I did to get here, and it would be more people go do it. They don't know.
Why don't men change? Men don't change because they're not in control of their lives. They're not in control of their emotions. Their brain is actually running their life unconsciously. And so I've talked to many friends, I've talked to many men.
And notice when these men are talking, they don't say some men. A lot of them don't say some men. They'll say men as in general. He's saying that they're on the same loop. These are the leaders now that y'all are saying are supposed to be leaders. Just listen to them. They want us to say not all, but when some of them talk, they will just say men.
About what they need to do to change, and guess what happens? You just get caught back up in the same loop. It's on autopilot. We think about the same thoughts that we did yesterday. You were just on autopilot. You don't change because you're not in control of your life. You don't want to change because it's scary. And it is scary. Uncertainty, the fear of the unknown, the fear of tomorrow, the fear of later today, the fear of 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And that's scary. That's real stuff. And men don't change because of that fear. And, you know, the excuse is like, yeah, I got it. I understand. Like, I know what to do. Like, I tell men all the time, like, what they need to do. And what I notice is they're just doing the same thing that they did when I told them. Just caught in that same loop over and over again. There's nowhere to go, no purpose, and they're still depressed. They're still sad. They're still stressed. They're still anxious because that's all their body knows what to do. That's their nervous system. That's all their nervous system knows.
I honestly think that women adapt and change for survival reasons. Women are more like, we pay attention to our surroundings more. And I think women are seeing that we're being taken out globally, and we're like just doing an assessment of all men, and we're doing an assessment of the things that they have done in the past and in the present and most likely in the future. And because our brains don't play on a loop, our brains like, okay, well, this is not working out, so I think I need to do something different. Many women think like that. There are some women who don't. They're going to keep repeating the same thing over and over. And some women are hard-headed, just like there are a lot of hard-headed men. But the women who are not playing on that loop are waking up and they're getting away. They're like, they started getting away as soon as they started getting their rights. That's how I know that women were paying attention to what was going on in these homes, and they knew what was going on in the women's lives in their family. They were paying attention, so that's why they started fighting for their rights, because they wanted more freedom. They wanted to survive. They didn't want to be taken out by their husbands. As soon as they could get divorces and go to school and have their own bank accounts and houses, they started getting that because it was just an instant switch, a survival thing. Okay, these men are giving us rights now. We better take them so we can get out.
The reason why so many men underperform in relationships today is because they do not yet know themselves. And when a person does not know themselves, they are lost in life. And when a person is lost in life, they automatically underperform in the totality of life. So then when you get with this guy who is immature, meaning he does not yet know himself, he has not evolved into his self or purpose and path and calling in life, well, you end up defining him for himself. You end up adding meaning to his life for him. And a woman is never supposed to define a man. She's never supposed to put meaning to his life. He's supposed to do that groundwork himself. That's all on him. That responsibility rests on his shoulders and on his shoulders only. Okay? Let him grow up. Let him find himself. Let him mature. Let him evolve in the knowledge of himself, so that way he knows exactly what he needs to do in life and what direction he needs to go in order to fulfill his purpose and his calling. Because a woman is supposed to be part of the man's life to enhance it, to add to it, to supplement it, not to define it or to put meaning to it. Okay? Let him grow up.
We have to be receptive enough to the feedback that we get. And I think sometimes we could be so hard-headed, like, nah, bro, this is just how I am, and this is logic over feelings, and you just need to get over it. Like, all right, bro. Yeah. You hard-headed. You know what I'm saying? You're closed-minded. That's a person that you cannot grow when you are that way. You have to be willing to listen to what other people are saying. And it doesn't mean that you have to do what they're telling you, but it just means you have to be receptive enough for the conversation to happen.
I think that generally speaking, men, not all men, but men are a little less emotionally evolved than women.
And they teach each other to be non-emotional with women. They tell each other to not show emotions around women or to not show emotions at all. Even as little boys, they tell little boys not to cry because they're acting like a girl. If you have human emotions, they equate that to being like a woman, and they equate being like a woman as bad. And then they wonder why they grow up and look at women who cry as emotional and bad for crying and having feelings.
Women respond to emotionality. They respond to affection, intimacy, openness, vulnerability, honesty. I find that women are very understanding. They can provide a safe space for you if you let them in. Men, on the other hand, run for the hills when it comes to emotions because your emotions trigger in them their lack of commitment. They have a fear of missing out. Men have FOMO, a serious case of it. They think that if they commit to you, they're locked in for life. That's not the truth. They just have a false perception of what you bring to the table. They don't realize that a healthy relationship can only be additive because then you get to expand in ways that you've never expanded before. You get to achieve things as a team that you've never achieved before. So men just take a little longer to grow up. It's like they have to come to their own realization that they've self-sabotaged so many times and that they've destroyed relationships that could have been great for them. But once they get it, they get it. But if you had a man recently break things off with you, don't hold on to them hoping that they're going to come back around. Don't. I'm telling you, you'd be wasting your energy, and that energy needs to be spent on someone who's ready for you, just like you're ready for them. But what you don't want to do is to wait for a man who is being wishy-washy. If they didn't give you a solid explanation as to why they're pulling the plug or why they're breaking things off, let them go. Take what they said at face value and thank you, sayonara, I wish you the best of luck, and then prepare your heart for the person who has grown up, for the person who does have the emotional capacity to see the value that you bring to the relationship.
Why do men always have to change and not the women? They don't. Nobody has to change. But if you're a man who's in a relationship and you would like the relationship, the marriage, to change the dynamic, to switch things up, things have not been going well. If you want change in any kind of circumstance, you have to start by looking at what you have control over. There's only one person you have control over. So you focus on you and what you are doing right, what you are doing wrong, where you can grow, where you can evolve. Women are inherently flawed because they're human, just like you and I. They have things that they can work on, places that they can grow and evolve. Let's see, if it's a guy asking the question of how can I improve my marriage, I'm not going to point at his wife and say, wait for her to change and then things will get better. I'm going to give him advice on what he can do that's within his control. I'm a men's coach, been running a company here at the Evolve Man where we help men grow in their lives and their relationships. So my advice and guidance is always going to be framed around the idea that the only way that we can create change in our lives or our relationships is to focus on what we can control first, and that is us.
Hey, thanks so much for coming in to see us here at the Evolve Man today. How can we help you? I appreciate you taking the time. Marriage has been on the rocks lately, and I would just really love to get it back to the way it once was. Yeah, you don't want that. What? I'm pretty sure I do. Actually, you can't have that. Huh? Toothpaste is already out of the tube. Can't get it back in there. Can I ask you a couple questions? Yeah, sure. Do you have kids? Yeah, 3 of them. Have you changed jobs since you've been married? Yeah, a couple times. My wife became a stay-at-home mom. Sure. Have you experienced any significant losses, like a parent or a grandparent that you were really close to ever since you've been married? Yeah, I lost my dad and she lost her mom. And I'm really sorry to hear that. Yeah, I appreciate that. What is the purpose of all these questions that you're asking me? I'm just trying to help illustrate why you can't go back to the way that it was. The circumstances of your life have changed drastically in that time, and the only reason that it felt so good in that first season of your marriage is because you got to be those people back then. You can't be those people anymore because you have to adapt to the new dynamics and circumstances of what life looks like, and then bring back the feeling of love and connection from that place of being new people. So you're saying we can recreate a feeling of being loving and connected to each other, but we can't expect to be the same people and expect the same results because life is so different now. We have to evolve to become someone new and then recreate and or build something fresh from that new foundation. Is that right? You got it, man. And if that's what you're looking for, that's what we do best.
So, ladies, I've said before that men and women are complete opposites like oil and water, and I do not think opposites attract. One of the biggest problems we have in relationships is that women change. Women evolve like every 5, 10, 15 years until we leave this planet. We don't stay the same as we were as teenage girls, like boy crazy, sex crazy little girls. We grow up and life changes, and so do we. And men don't want us to change because they don't change. They stay the sex crazy, childish little boys playing video games until they die, wearing baggy pants or wearing t-shirts with characters on them that match their shoes. They just stay the same all of their lives. It's hard for them to evolve and to grow. And women get in these relationships and they're like, seeing potential, and men are just like, I want her to stay like this forever. She's having sex with me 3 times a day, 5 days a week, because like they're young. She has all this attention. She's doing this for me. She's cooking. We're going on dates. She's dressing up. She's skinny. Men expect for women to stay exactly like that. I promise you they do. And if you don't believe me, just take it from them.
The problem with relationships is men meet a girl and expect them to stay the same, and they don't. Women meet a guy and expect them to change, want them to change, and they don't change.
Yeah. In the last episode, we were talking about how every romantic comedy is about a player who shuts it down for that one girl. It's about a woman who is able to change a guy.
Yeah.
That's the fairy tale, is that you'll be able to change the guy, when in reality, that usually doesn't happen.
I think when you get to be older, I've learned now that I'm in my 40s, I probably learned this to like mid 30s. I know there was guys that I'm like, oh, he's a player, especially in my 20s and, early 30s.
I'm going
like,
to change him.
Yeah, you can never change them, no matter who you are, no matter if you're the chillest chick ever. A guy's going to be how he's going to be until he like the taxi cab theory, until he decides to change.
So through my experiences in relationships, I've realized that men and women go into a relationship differently. Men, they are satisfied with the way their woman is when they get in that relationship, and they don't ever want them to change. Women, on the other hand, they see what they want from that man, and they hope that that man changes or grows into the man that they desire. They probably like the majority of who you are, but they want you to change into something that you're not currently. And neither of these work, right? Because that man might never change into the man you desire. And then what, are you going to be disappointed? Like, you can't have unreal expectations of a man. Like, he is who he is. Now, he's going to grow, he's going to change, but he might not change into the man that you desire. And hopefully that doesn't disappoint you. And same for men. You can't expect a woman to stay the way she is when you met her, because that's not going to happen. As they get older, they're going to grow, they're going to change, they're going to mature, they're going to have different desires, different feelings about certain things that they did when they were younger. So in a relationship, neither of those really work. But as long as you come together and you communicate and you grow together, you'll be satisfied with each other for the most part, I think. But I think that's a big issue with relationships, and why relationships sometimes just don't work, because women want men to change and men want women to stay the same.
Men marry potential, and men marry women so that they will stay the same. They want that woman to not change. Like, don't change. You be who you are when I marry you, and stay that way. And they say that women, we typically will marry potential. So we're not marrying the man that's in front of us. We're marrying the man that we think you can be. So what happens is, most women in the beginning of a relationship, we're showing you through our actions how we want to be loved. We're not doing those things for you simply just for you. We're doing it because we're trying to give you a template of this train us. Want to be treated. And maybe you can look at it that way too. Maybe it is a little bit of training and manipulation in there, you know? But I think that that's what the problem is that we have not learned to love the present moment. We're always either reflecting on the past or we're looking so far into the future that we never stop in the present moment and say, do I accept you for who you are right now?
Listen up, ladies. The Y chromo, and I'm not saying the Zome, is on its way out. And I'm beating around the bush because TikTok is weird. But the Y chromo, XOXOXO, is on its Some is on its way out. And this is really important for you to know as a woman, because what they're finding is in certain rats in South America and in Eastern Europe, that the YXOXO Zome is already gone in these rat species, and the females have reabsorbed that power to decide the sex of their offspring. Now, scientists are predicting that women are going to have this power as well. They're predicting that women are going to evolve, humans are going to evolve to reabsorb that chromoxoxosome back into our uteruses, because what they're seeing in the rats is that the rats are deciding in utero on their own. The uterus and the cells are so intelligent that they're deciding on their own if they're going to create a boy or a girl. This is really exciting because my prediction is that the women who will evolve with this power are going to be the women who have reclaimed the womb, are going to be the women that have re-embodied womb consciousness. They're going to be the ones that we see in the future. So if you're interested in learning more about the womb, head over to my YouTube. I talk all about the truth of the womb so you can know all about it. But you're going to want to tap in. You're going to want to drop in and drop down, sis. I'm not playing. If you want to see your lineage in the future, in millions of years and thousands of years, it is going to be the women who know how to consciously and psychically connect to their uteruses, psychically connect to their oracular knowing, the wisdom of their wombs, the divinity in their wombs, to create consciously what they want in the world. This is some real power stuff, and I'm not making this up. This is what my spirit is downloading into me, and I'm telling you. So be in the know, head over to my YouTube, subscribe, and start learning how you can start tapping into your womb and embodying and reclaiming womb consciousness.
Ladies, please watch
in
this.
Humans is similar but a little different. According to those who have knowledge of the old way of birth, parthenogenesis occurs when a woman is in a state of superior alkaline health, lives very close to the laws of nature, and enters a state of physio-spiritual bliss. In other words, a woman must be fully aligned in her natural state and completely healthy and happy in order to achieve parthenogenesis. Parthenogenesis, known as virgin birth, is a form of asexual reproduction where an unfertilized egg develops without the presence or assistance of sperm. This has been documented many times in the animal kingdom, and as recently as 2014, where a python named Thelma gave birth to 6 healthy babies without having been near a male partner.
So as you can see with those last 2 videos, evolution is going to evolution. I do believe that women were once able to reproduce offspring without men. I do believe that. There is tons of evidence to show it. I believe that our government knows that we can do it. And I believe that is the reason why they are taking away all of our natural foods, where we can't get our body back to being alkaline and as healthy as it needs to be. I do believe that's why they're poisoning all of our products, all of our, the air, the water. I feel like they know this, and they cannot allow women to do that because they need to be here. And as you heard the young lady say, the Y chromosome which is a broken X. XX is female, XY is male. The Y chromosome is disappearing. And from what I heard and what I've studied a little bit of, when women were parthenogenic, they only produce female offspring. I don't know where that X got broke and turned into a Y and the male came to be, but he's here now and he has attached like a parasite and he is fighting. He's fighting to stay here. So if y'all want to look into it some more, you can study about the XY chromosome. That's a male. You can study about parthenogenesis. It's a few videos here on TikTok about it. And you could purchase books to study about it. But I really do believe that we are headed back, and I think Mother Nature is doing a great reset. And I think that these wars that men start, maybe it's something biological in them that tells them that they need to go and just kill each other off so that we can have a fighting chance as women on this planet to survive. If they go and just kill each other off, maybe we can survive like with less of them. And the genes are like just dying off. That their genes are just dying off. Some of them can't even like procreate because I don't know if it's because they're promiscuous. They're like having so much sex when they get to a certain age. Like it's even in their late 20s and early 30s now that they can't even like do it anymore. So maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. It's just so much stuff to consider when you're talking about the human species. But yeah, y'all, that's all I got for now. Get down in the comments and let me know what you thought about this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and share. And I will talk to you ladies next time. Bye.
We need to talk to you about something. I don't know how you're going to take this, but I have talked to you. No, I have talked to you about this numerous of times, and I feel like you're not listening to me. You're not understanding what I'm saying. You hear me, but you not taking the time out to really understand what I'm saying. You don't take me out. You don't spend no quality time with me. I feel like I'm just a body, and you just there. Like we just there. And I feel like it's more to a relationship. It's not even I feel like. I know it's more to a relationship than just, I don't know what this is. Because I don't feel like we in a relationship. I feel like you my roommate.
Because we not going out having dinner at five-star restaurants and shit.
No, because even...